How's it going, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning into this video. It's getting towards that time of year where everything just starts to get nasty and cold and rainy outside. It's all nice and damp out. And this can start to be the time that maybe your truck is running into some issues starting in the morning or first starts. Today we were talking about glow plugs and glow plug controllers. How important all 8 of these little bastards are, what to look out for when you're running into issues, and how to more or less diagnose or simply diagnose what may be going on with your truck. So, not to get confused with gasoline engines, spark plugs, glow plug is its own little animal. Spark plugs are for timed ignition, and of course it creates a spark in order to ignite the fuel inside, air fuel mixture inside of the combustion chamber. A glow plug is designed to preheat the combustion chamber, and then as a piston comes up in a diesel engine, the ignition is the compression. It's taking a volume of air fuel mixture, compressing it, heating it up, and once it reaches its desired pressure or desired heat and pressure, it will ignite the cylinder and ignite the diesel fuel. So all this little glow plug does is designed to assist with the engine's first start. So where are the glow plugs on a 6.5 located? So I put the head back on my 141 block. This would be the passenger side head. This would be the passenger side block. And this is your glow plug. It is located on the head, on the exhaust side of the head, and it is also directly below your injector. So you will have 4 on each side. And of course you can see I have the head off of this one, or off the driver's side, sitting over there. We'll go into that in a minute because direct injection versus indirect injection. So I said the glow plug heats up the air inside of the combustion chamber. Well, how does that work? So directly underneath your injector on a 6.5, you have your pre-combustion chamber. Let's see if I can get a light right there. You have your pre-combustion chamber. Here, let's go to this one. And you can see the little port down inside there where that little bit of air gets into the combustion chamber itself. So underneath the injector, you can see is the glow plug. I'm turning it inwards. And that will heat up the air inside of that little pre-combustion chamber in order to help the engine start. So I've set up this little bench tester, if you will. It's just 2 wires, a ground, and a 12 volt source to a battery. And this will kind of show you exactly how a glow plug is designed when you roll through your glow plug cycles. So you have your positive coming in, you have your ground, and this ground, or the glow plug itself, grounds off of these threads when you turn it into the head. Once you put 12 volts to it, it will then start to glow cherry red. Of course, only the end of this one is glowing usually. Well, it'll creep all the way up. And that is how your glow plug will heat up that little pre-combustion chamber on a 6.5. So glow plugs are super simple. They're either good or bad, and their operation is pretty self-explanatory. it heats up that little pre-combustion chamber on a 6.5, or pre-combustion chamber is on any indirect injection diesel. It's different for the direct injection diesels, but all glow plugs serve the same function. It just is preheating the combustion chamber or pre-combustion chamber in order to allow for easier starts. Why is something so simple such a problem, especially on indirect injection diesels? Well, the problem is, let's go over a 6.5 because that's primarily what we talk about. The glow plug is located directly below your injector. What happens when you don't wait for the wait to start light to go out, that glow plug is cherry red like you just saw, and when you spray diesel fuel onto that glow plug, it's essentially making little burn marks, and over time the progression of not waiting for the wait to start light to go out, you are going to destroy that glow plug. You will distort it. I know this is a brand new glow plug, but you will distort it, making it very problematic to remove. And I mean, over time, it's just not going to work properly. This is one of those things that gets overlooked very, very often. And, if you're having just a starting issue in general and you don't know the last time your glow plugs or your glow plug controller was replaced, it is a very smart idea in order to go ahead and just change all of them. On a 6.5, the number 8 and number 7 can kind of be a little pain in the butt to get at too. Or I'm sorry, number 8 and number 6 can kind of be a little bit of pain in the butt, but they are essential. The 6.5 without glow plugs in the summer will have an incredibly hard time starting, especially if it has like 250,000 miles on it. Those piston rings and the cylinder walls aren't what they used to be. It's not necessarily making as much compression as it used to. It's crucial in order to have good operating glow plugs. Growing up in Maine, I've seen my 6.5 have really hard time starting, even with just 1 or 2 of them bad. So it is crucial in order to have starts in the winter to get those glow plugs changed. So this is the driver's side head, and of course you get your injector, your glow plug, and then once you flip the head over, you can see that is the cup for your pre-combustion chamber. That is where diesel fuel and the already preheated air will come into the combustion chamber. It does not have to come through the valves at all. It will just heat up the air that's already inside of the pre-combustion chamber and the cylinder. So your piston will be inside the cylinder bore, and it is just trying to heat up the air on top of the piston and allow for cold starts and or easy starts in the summer. So now we're under the hood of the wife's truck, and I thought I would just go over a few things under the hood, starting sequences and whatnot. But of course you have your glow plug right down here, and you have 4 on each side. You have your glow plug wires, and right back here you have your glow plug controller. So a common theme that I've seen people do that they just get lazy or they don't want to spend the money to do it is to use one of these fence nails, if you will, and jump the glow plug relay between the two posts. In my opinion, it works, but wouldn't you want it to work properly? I mean, if you're going through the trouble of having to use one of these every morning when you go to start it, I mean, a glow plug controller is maybe, I think, $50 max, if I'm not mistaken. It's super easy to change. It's just on the back side of the driver's side head. It's it's 2 nuts to take it off, 2 nuts to remove the wires from the glow plug relay or glow plug controller, and it's 1 plug. It's super simple to change. Don't bypass it with one of these nails. I would just want my truck to work properly. So when you're inspecting for bad glow plugs or anything like that, check to see the wires, the wire loom that they're in. Make sure it's not chafed or rubbing against, the exhaust manifold or the head or anything like that. You want as much voltage as you can get to the glow plugs, so you're not worried about the overall performance of the glow plugs. So there are a few different starting sequences when it comes to a 6.5. You have your one time, I like to call it. It's when the wait to start light just comes up once and then will go off and won't come up again. And then there's a sequence where the glow plug or the wait to start light will come on and off, on and off, on and off. Every time that wait to start light comes on, that glow plug is getting cherry red. So just wait for the whole sequence to go over, especially if it has the on-off sequence. Just wait the 10 seconds so you don't wind up burning up your glow plugs or anything like that. When it is warm, it should only go like once or twice on the multi wait start, but if your engine's warm, it should only do it once or for a split second, and then you're free to start it. So this is the wait to start on my wife's truck. She got one, and you just heard it shut off, and I know on my wife's truck it's not going to come back on again. Starts just fine. Now my truck has the multi on-off wait to start, and the light is in a different location. That's pretty common. I know I'm going to get a question or two like, well, which one's better? It doesn't matter which one's better, in my opinion. If you live in a colder climate and you have a single wait to start light and you're really worried about it starting, I would cycle the glow plugs a couple of times. I've had to cycle the glow plugs in my truck with a multi wait to start light, and it's just one of those things. You gotta figure out what's going on with your truck and how it wants to act. So this is the multi wait to start. My truck has not been started today. See, the glow plugs are getting hot. Went off. It'll come on a few times. Just wait for it to complete its full cycle before starting. think that I wasn't going to start my truck for you. So, a few things to remember. Glow plugs are always going to need replacing. It's just one of those things that, you know, these trucks, there are worse ones on glow plugs, like the 7.3 IDI or even the 7.3. The 7.3 Power Stroke are really bad for glow plugs. But on these 6.5s, if you're waiting every time for, you know, the wait to start light to go out before you go ahead and crank it, you can get quite a bit of life out of some good quality glow plugs. As far as the glow plug controller, I haven't had to replace either one in my wife's truck or my truck since we've owned it. However, a few things to look out for when installing or removing or just dealing with the glow plug controller. They are really, really fragile. I have broken several just trying to tighten the little nuts underneath the main power wires for them. These wires are held on with just little nuts and tabs. Do not over tighten those, just go till they are snug. If you over tighten them, you're going to break the base off them, and that is just all internal, and you won't realize it until you're getting frustrated with it and replacing it again, being gentle. And then once you are gentle with it, all of a sudden your glow plugs start to work. I've seen that quite a few times, and I've done it myself. Just be easy with them. Other things to look out for: if you're not seeing your wait to start light and you're having an incredibly hard time starting it, especially first thing, very common for the glow plug controller to go out. You should be seeing at least a wait to start light. It doesn't matter whether it's just the single on off or the multi wait to start light, but you should be seeing that wait to start light for a period of time, especially when the engine's cold. If you are just buying a truck and you are concerned whether or not the previous owner replaced the glow plugs or not, I would just go ahead and change them. I think you can get a box of 4 of them for like $8 to $15. I mean, they're really inexpensive. If you are concerned about, you know, whether they're bad or not, when removing them, just be easy. If it's binding at all, work it back and forth. The reason being is if it starts to get tight while you're loosening, what has happened is the glow plug itself has expanded and it is rubbing on the threads in order for you to take it out. So it is expanded to the point where it's rubbing on either one or both sides and it's binding. Just go really easy with it. If you break that glow plug off into the pre-combustion chamber, what's going to happen is that the end of that glow plug is immediately going to drop right into the combustion chamber, and you're going to do damage to both the piston and the head. 6.5 pistons are flat top pistons, and the heads are flat to the piston itself. So that little bit of glow plug is just going to get smushed in between the head and the piston, and you are going to do damage. So be very, very careful when removing them. Otherwise, you are taking the head off to get that little piece of metal out. I think that's going to do it for this episode. Again, it's getting colder out. It's just one of those things. Look out for it. Or if you are having hard starts in general, and I mean that genuinely, if you are having hard starts even in the summer, consider replacing the glow plugs or at least looking into them. 6.5s need glow plugs in order to start. So Any questions, comments, concerns, or anything I missed, please leave them in the comments below. I will respond to you. If you would like me to do any other specific videos on 6.5s, please let me know. New Wednesday will be out either Wednesday or Thursday, so stay tuned for that. Thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you legends in the next one.